Hello from Bali. This is the podcast Pigeon of Peace where we do discuss an awesome skills of troubleshooters. Watch, listen, and check the description below for the details. Let's talk about self-control and let's start with the definition.
There is a saying, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Everyone thinks that it is so easy to control yourself, but sometimes you won't drink, sometimes you won't eat, sometimes you are tired. I have been to very expensive training in USA, and I was trying to do as everyone else, but suddenly it was trainee who approached me and said, "You are so lazy ass. You was traveling across the Atlantic just to show that you are slowest among others." But I have been already sleeping for a very long night, so I was quite отдохнувший, restful.
Rested.
I was quite rested. I don't know. It was quite offensive to say such things. And I was staring at this trainee, and he continues. Imagine you will sit at casino, and on the stack it would be $1 million. Would you be so tired? Would you be thinking about toilet or something else? And I was saying, for sure not. And he told me, if you switch on something in your body right now, it would stand with you for whole life. But a lot of people, they sometimes has like отговорки.
Excuses.
Yes, correct. Thank you. They use excuses and they saying, okay, so today not the right day, about moon calendar, or okay, I have last drink for this week, or maybe I promise to go somewhere and we will dance and we will drink some energetics and so on. But you should have a switch and you should imagine it very carefully. And at one point you should understand your life could start today. There is no other day. Yes, you have yesterday. Could you change it? No. You have tomorrow. Could you do something in nearest future? Maybe. But the only day you could be controlling yourself is today.
Well, sometimes when we speak about the self-control and we think about future ourselves or past ourselves, and we actually, like exist in the moment, there is also might be like a different circumstances, obviously, especially in this noisy world, like we may have like a lot of things like relatives asking for some stuff, like colleagues asking for small details, or maybe like news buzzing in our phones and just trying to get our attention, trying to get our control. So how to fight with all of those, I would say, enemies or maybe distractors.
I'm very grateful for your word. You name our world noisy. There is another abbreviation. Is it okay to say abbreviation?
Abbreviation is good.
Okay, thank you. Abbreviation, which pronounced like FOMO, fearing of missing out. We look at the gadgets to read all news. We talk with everyone to stay in connection. But if you will not be focused, you will not finish any of your beginnings. For example, right now we're finishing like 500 of our podcasts, and this was a huge job, and it was done during 2 years. If we will not start, if we will not do this weekly, we will have not such account like now we're proud of. The same, for example, with your articles. You have some articles about Dubai, which I like a lot, about Singapore. You was spending so many times, you have been making so many photos. And maybe at this point you want to drink like beer or maybe vodka or something else. But anyway, you was thinking, I should finish this. The same with your life. I'm very sorry to see something from my window. I am living in the middle of the Moscow, and I have a statue of Lermontov. This is a great Russian poet, and he wrote a lot of very famous poems. But the main thing, he died twice younger than me right now, and he is very famous. Would be any statue if I will die? No, I have committed nothing special. And a lot of us, we are like ants. We do something, but we are not visible for other people. And this is only your choice. Do you know such a guy as Gagarin? He was first astronaut who was flying around the Earth. It was very dangerous, and he was winner of the competitions for two teams. One was from American side and another from Russian side. And now everyone can say that he was very special man. Or another example, do you know Cicerone? Well-speaking orator and so on. By the way, he was having a slave. His name was Tyrone, and even his slave is very famous. When we start lectures about scenography, how to write in speed, in very fast mode, we always remember this guy because Tyrone was inventing scenography.
And when we probably trying to, get ourselves back on track or whatever, and obviously some of the things also might be, not coming into the place. So what might be the techniques or mechanics or the mindset when we just, trying to go into the right gears and be focused or be steady, because there is a switch and there is also like maintenance of the speed, maintenance of the pace or cadence.
Often I'm saying the business is not what you are doing, but what you are not intending to do. For example, if you're trying to clean up your house, you should vacuum clean the floor, you should wipe glasses, you should clean dishes and cutlery and so on. But if you will sometimes sit and read the book, if you sometime will switch on TV, maybe you will never finish this cleaning. And it could continue so long that you will be completely tired, you will be exhausted, and you will be not so brave as you started. The same with your life. You should very clearly understand what not to do. For example, each week I run from 50 to 100 kilometers. Today I have done just 8. I'm very sorry. I have some excuses, but anyway, if I will go in my suit with bag and something will happen, I am ready to run. There is several stories. First, I was in St. Petersburg and I was driving by a very fancy car and driver, which was given by a Russian oligarch. But suddenly this driver turns to me and was saying, I am very sorry, you should make a call to change your tickets because we will not be at the train station in time. And I asked him, okay, how long should I go? And he told me, this is about like 1 mile, a bit less. I just smiled, take my suit, and I just ran. And I was exactly in time. When I entered the carriage, the train started to go. Yes, I was very wet, but anyway, I was in time and I was so happy. Another, we were racketeered by some gang in the middle of the Moscow clinic of my wife. And sometime I was running during night 1, 2, 3 times, something about 2 kilometers. And after this, I have a lot of videos how these people trying to steal something. And now I'm showing to police and everyone is saying, but how can you do this? They were so fast. They just were entering and tried to catch something and carry it out. Yes, this is about running. The same with fighting, the same with English. Okay, now everyone could say that my English is very poor and I'm very grateful that you have patience and you teach me. But anyway, better to do like this, but not to say excuses. I don't know how to draw, I don't know how to paint, I don't know how to speak, and lose your time, lose your chance.
So this is actually brings me to another point. I do remember a couple of skills. It might be like a risk or a game of theory. You said about this thing that at certain point of time, you might be like a stubborn, like you might be persistent, then you might be seem stubborn. And the last step, you also might be like stupid when the thing's not getting there. So till how long you need to have this like a self-control, because if you want to go somewhere, but you need to have like a metrics or like KPIs or maybe just gut feeling to understand that, okay, this is time to stop and this is time to actually put my control or focus or attention to something else.
You should think about yourself like a plane. Would you like to fly in the steady plane or in a bumpy one? Yes, you will say, okay, I prefer to go around to have a drinks, to chat with other buddies and so on. The same with your life. Your girlfriend or your spouse, your children, your mother and father, they would like you to be the same all the day, all the week, all the year. So if you will be drunk, if you will be tired, if you will be angry, they would be not happy because you are not a person they want you to be. So steadiness, you just switch it on for one time and forever. For example, could you imagine I would be late for our recording without notice and without any excuses? Very, very important one. Sometimes I have no chance to be at podcast and I refuse clients. They pay me money, but we do this podcast without any money. So I choose something which was installed in my calendar. If I have meeting, for example, once with even rich client, and I have recording which would be like 1,000 times with Maxim Golub, I would go in first because this client could be lost. But Maxim Golub for one time, for 1,000 episodes, this is much important. Yes, you could do some small efforts, but never small efforts will not give you chance to be a great person. If you try to play with, I don't know how to say it, these machines in casino, how they called, like one hand bandit? I don't know.
One hand, yeah, could be something like this.
Yes, you could try, but I have seen a lot of people, they playing in Bellagio, my lovely hotel, or in Venice, in Las Vegas, or in Macau, and they never win so much. But I have seen a lot of students from School of Troubleshooters, they take a very great effort, and suddenly they rewarded, and they come to me and they say, thank you because you help us. And I'm saying to everyone, that's not about me. I know what to do, but not so many people do what I say. And this is the reason. Everyone knows how to live, how to be kind, how to be honest, how to be effective, but not many people do this as they live.
Well, I definitely appreciate the examples. And yes, sometimes we might treat like our life like a slot machine. So just like hoping that something will come out suddenly. And sometimes I do believe there is also might be a switch between different activities, whether it's, like our state of mind or state of work or projects or processes, or whatever. So do we need to be like a really machine? Like once something stopped, we need to put our self-control to something else. And do we need to have some sort of like a room to break, room to breathe, or maybe like room to rethink something, or even recalibrate our self-control mechanics if we have any?
Happily, you are a man, and I am also a man, so we'll talk about just a man. And women could switch off our video right now. Yes, if you are a man, you should be a robot with a human face. At the first place, you should put your women's, your mother, your daughter, your wife, or your girlfriend. And if they ask something, you should do it immediately. And the reason why? Because if they will have a good mood, they will provide you with the same. If you will spoil their mood, you will lose one day or even several days for quarrels and for something. So on first ladder of importance of your life, you should put your women's. On the second, you should put your health. If you would ill, you will be pitiful, жалкий,
Pity, lame,
miserable.
miserable is good.
You will be looking like a miserable. And if you will stay in a bed more than 3 days, everyone would think, oh, there's not a strong person to rely on. Third, you should put your job, your work, your way to earn money, and never miss these ladders. Everything else, like hobby and friends, should be much higher because your girls and your women's, they provide you with mood, with support, and with comfort. Your health could stand as a ground, and your job is money because in our world you couldn't achieve something without money. So these 3 letters, they could be like, I don't know, like a holy father for you.
And when we actually, our self-control, if we look at it as a castle, when it's being attacked by someone, and I don't mean distraction, I mean like someone who's really, like trying not like challenging in whatever ways, or maybe trying to move us to a different direction, or trying to irritate, or just like simply, like making some sort of like offensive moves, how, like how still we should be, how, like we should wait, or maybe what our response should be. Should it be like symmetrical, asymmetrical, or we should be like totally ignorant?
It's very easy to show on examples. Right now, we just started this our first podcast for today, and right now at your location, something about 1 hour. Yes, is it okay to say 1 hour a.m.?
It's 1 a.m. Yes.
1 a.m. So you not looking tired and you sitting still and you have clear eyes. Second, right now I am in another location and our building is very old one and it is started to reconstruct. And in this case, our condition completely off and I have like temperature in my room approximately 31 degrees. And by the way, we have no water for almost 2 days because it is also switched off. But if this a reason not to make, not to film, not to do what we supposed to do. So first, you should understand that you will be always having excuses. I have no clean shirt. I have no time. I have no, I don't know what. If you not run on the training, if you not learn new office program, if you have no time to speak with your kin, родственники, kin or kins,
Or relatives.
relatives, you know, it will grow like a snowball. Do you remember this game when we were young? We put some small snowball, then we run it out of hill, and it would makes bigger, 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 and at the end it could be quite huge, like I don't know, half of our rost height.
Height.
Height. Yes, the same would be with all problems. If you will allow them to run without your movement, without your direction, they will become so huge that you will be fallen and you will be завален.
Fell down, or like a broken.
You will be broken by them. So everything you should control. And in this case, you should remember that you have just 2 hands. Do not start too many activities.
Well, and I do believe this is actually was a nice segue explaining like how self-control could make a world a better place. Don't let anyone control you. Otherwise, like you will be controlled by everyone and you cannot really build whatever you want. And we review the skill of self-control and how it could be helpful for you. Stay in peace.